We are live. So, welcome everybody to Kentucky GEG, our September 14th meeting. It is the beginning of the year for a lot of us, so we hope that your NTI or you're in school or your hybrid or whatever you're doing with students is going well this year. I also want to welcome the viewers who are watching this later. So, my name is David Allen. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick. My name is David Allen. I am one of the leaders for Kentucky GEG. I am a certified Google trainer.
I'm Monica Wainscott. I am also a Google certified trainer and I work at Beechwood School District in Northern Kentucky.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fisher. I'm also a Google certified trainer and I'm a district digital learning coach for Fayette County.
I'm Lauren Rotha and I'm also a Google certified trainer and a digital learning coach in Oldham County.
I'm Jason Reed, and I'm also a Google certified trainer and digital learning coach in Marshall County.
And we want to welcome David and Lauren, or I'm sorry, Jason and Lauren. They are brand new this month. Jason was in last month, but he was not present for the meeting. So I wanted to make sure we give a big shout out and a big welcome to them. This is their first monthly meeting with us, and we're really excited to have them. So yay! If you're looking to get involved, reach out. We'd love to have you. Here are some of our group links. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Visit our website to get some information. You can follow us on Facebook. We love to put updates and little fun things for you out there, and join our Google group. You can send emails, ask some questions. And today we're going to have a back channel question and answer. So I will put the link in the chat today, but feel free to go in and ask a question, put your name on there. Even if you're watching it later, you can go ahead and get access to that back channel document, and we'll go in there and answer your questions for you later as well. So if you have a question for us, please don't hesitate to ask. We've got a lot of ways you can get in touch with us: Twitter, Facebook, or our GEG group, or if you'd like to use this back channel document, which I'm putting in the chat on the side, you are welcome to reach out at any time. We're happy to answer any questions you have. And now I would like to introduce Lauren, who's going to tell you about some Google updates this month.
Thank you so much, Monica. So you might be wondering, this happens to us all the time. People come up to us and they say, how do you know all these Google updates? I guess it's not just being a trainer. We get information sometimes, but at the same time, this information is actually out there for everyone. So I want to kind of showcase where we get this information from. There is something called that G Suite Updates blog, and that's just gsuiteupdates.googleblog.com. And here, as you can see, there we are on that G Suite's blog. Each post, it informs you on what's changing, the timelines for release, who's impacted, why you might use it, gives you additional details, and helps you to get started, availability by device, and other additional resources. But what I really want to showcase about this is over on that right-hand side, you can filter all of the G Suite updates first by time. So if you want to know just that month what's going on, you can do it by product. So if you just want to know what's coming out new, subscribing, and so if you want that to come into your email, and you can set that up by weekly updates, monthly updates, however you want these updates to come. So if you want to kind of be in the know besides just each month listening to or just viewing every once in a while. So that is where we get our information. But I would like us to go back to our slides. And since our last meeting was in July, I kind of wanted us to start with those July 2020 updates. I listed all. They're also on there, but I thought that since we're mostly educators here in this group, that we would just kind of showcase those instructional updates. And so some of those I'd like to go over, but some of them, they're all hyperlinked here for you so that you can go and individually look at them. The first thing I want to share is talking a little bit about those Google Meet conferencing policies. Now those have kind of changed. You may have noticed in the past when you created an event in the calendar, the actual event owner of the calendar was able to get that Google Meet link. But now if you are just someone within the Google Calendar and you're the one that creates the link, then now you have those policies. And so that's been very helpful. You may have also noticed, not just for Google Chat, but those dark themes are now available to be using. And so that's been very helpful. Also, the integrated workspace in Gmail. So you'll notice if you are a Gmail user that now that you can do that Google Chat and create a Google Meet link all right there as of July within Gmail. So that's very helpful, as well as, like I said, even those chats, you can get started right from there. So not having to go out to the waffle or go out to another tab. Some of you may still like to print that Google Calendar. And so if you are someone who is still printing that Google Calendar to have that physical copy, it probably drove you crazy that you couldn't print it in color. And so now you're able to do that. Thank you, Google. And then last but not least, for July of 2020, we now have improved Google Calendar event creation. So you'll notice that when you create them from July, that now you have new guest permissions. You can now add attachments. You get that pretty calendar preview, which looks a little bit better for you as a user. So a lot of new updates in July. Let's look at August. So August 2020, we had a lot of updates. A few that I'd like us to go over and think about are, the first one is those timelines for transitioning from classic Google Sites to the new Google Sites. They have updated those timelines. And if you are someone who has an old Google site, make sure that by 2021, so you still have some time to plan, that you are transitioning and moving that over to the new site, or that will go away. So just a little tip there about those Google Sites. Something that a lot of people enjoyed in my district is Google Meet now made that knocking feature. And so after you kick someone out 2 times, then they were not able to get back in, which could be helpful. Now, I know that those guest controls are coming out here soon, and for some people, they already have them, so that might not be as applicable, but that was nice that after 2 knocks, you're kind of done. Something else is those improvements to Google Classroom started rolling out. We've got that to-do widget. A lot of you probably love that kids could join using that share link all of a sudden, so you didn't have to give the code or invite them by email. We have a third option, very helpful for remote learning.
Lauren was having some issues with her stream, so I think we lost her for a little bit. But so we're going to have Kelly jump in and take over. So
Sorry.
I think we were at the assignment add-ons for the other LMSs. Oh, wait, I think we got Lauren back. There she is.
I was doing good so far. So it sounds like he helped me. He talked about those Google updates or those Google Classroom, new languages. Thank you so much, David.
Yeah. We were at the assignments, so the widget stuff is where we're at next.
Perfect. So yeah, those to-do widgets that are updated.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then sharing that class link, exporting, and new languages. Thank you. The next thing I want to point out is probably you may have noticed, and some of your students, I've heard teachers say, hey, I don't think that my kids in Google Meet are looking at me or paying attention. But I think that sometimes we got to give them credit. There is now, you can cast Google Meet to your TV. So if under that little skinny snowman icon, you may notice that if you're on like a Chromebook, you can cast the screen up to a TV. And so a lot of our kids, we're noticing in our district, it's not that they're not looking at the teacher, they're actually looking at the teacher even larger on a TV screen. And so that feature is there. So even as a teacher, if you like to see your students a little bit larger on the screen, maybe try that casting feature. If you have something like a Chromecast on that smart TV, a new update. There's new improved Braille support. So if that's something you're using in Google Docs, please check those out. And last but not least, in August, they started rolling out, it was more in beta, and later this month in September, if your domain administrator allows it, you're going to be able to collaborate with what we call those non-G Suite users. And so you're going to be able to share some of those doc slide sheets, all those different files, and they will get in. It'll be secure though, using a PIN code. And so you'll be able to give maybe your families or someone outside your district access and let them collaborate and look at something.
All right, I think we lost her again here. So I think we are pretty much done with August. So some of the September dates were present and chat, meet moderation capabilities for education, Google Doc line spacing based on the font. New Google Groups is the default for all users. And then the new look for Google Meet mobile apps. So those are some of the updates that you will see. I know some of the new updates are starting to roll out. I know some people got their shields recently. Laura's back.
I'm back again. So maybe everyone feels comfortable. It's happening to all of us. We're all getting kicked out of different things. And so just join the club, right? Thank you so much, David. It sounds like you were talking about those new moderator capabilities popping up within people's Google Meets. And here in just a minute, Jason Reed's going to cover those more extensively, so I won't steal his thunder. So we'll talk about those more extensively here in a second, like I said. The new Google Docs also has new line spacing based on fonts, so you may notice that kind of rolling out within yours, as well as the new look for Google Meet mobile apps. I have a little slide here about coming soon, and like I said, Jason's going to go more extensively on this, but this is a great little tool if you're wondering, well, which updates are coming out when. This is from Matthew Cessna. He's made this graphic. It's an awesome one from Jessamine County Schools there. If you want to check that out, he gave us rights to use that. And so if you're kind of wondering each month, what should I kind of expect in Google Meet? They've made a wonderful graphic for you. And I'll let Jason take it away with more on Google Meets.
Excellent. So Google Meet has been changing drastically since March, which is good and bad. Google has been very receptive to all the different needs that we have as educators when we're dealing with NTI setup and distance learning. But what I found with my staff is that it was very difficult to keep up with what was new and how this changed and what exactly that means. So if you are training staff or you are using Google Meet with students, right here, this bit.ly on this slide takes you to a presentation that I use with my staff just to give the rundown of the new features. One of the more confusing things for my staff was using the Google nicknamed rooms as opposed to just a regular Google Meet room. And I had a few teachers that ended up with students in a room that they were not in and they couldn't find them and you know, all sorts of confusion. So we went over a lot of the different security features of a nicknamed room. All that's covered in that slide deck from that bit.ly. Also, what could go wrong, exactly how students log in and how parents could access those. So all of that is kind of run down for you in that bit.ly and gives everything kind of in bulleted list, very concise format for you as you're learning all of those new features of Google Meet. But I won't walk you through that entire thing. If you do need that information, feel free to grab that bit.ly and use it for yourself or with your staff, either way. Okay, and on the next slide, this is just a free gift that I've put together. I know a lot of people are kind of already back in school. Some people are doing a hybrid model. Some people are getting ready to have some in-person school. One of the things that we discovered in our district is that our car rider dismissal system was not very COVID friendly. So we had a lot of kids lined up in a hallway, not socially distanced. So we had to find a creative way to tackle that. So if you need that in your school, I have a template here for you, and there's a link there to make the copy of the template that works on some Google Sheets magic so that you could have one staff member outside on their iPad typing in the car numbers. It pulls a lookup, puts the student's name in the spreadsheet, and then every teacher who has that projected on their screen can dismiss students from their classroom without announcements, without long lines. And that is all taken care of in a Google Sheet template that you can make a copy of at that link if you need that. So hopefully that will be helpful as you transition back to school.
I feel like it's Christmas in September because we get to keep on sharing gifts. And so at this time, I would love to introduce you to the Google Junior Series. And this is exciting because the global Google Educator Group has answered the question that we are getting most often as digital learning coaches, and that is, how do I teach my kids how to use all things Google? So if you would come into the slide later on and open up this training series, These are very short videos. I'm talking less than 1 to 2 minutes about how to do everything Google. So if they need to learn how to submit an assignment to Google Classroom, how to check their grades, where's their to-do list, how to insert a video into Google Slides, it's all here. And so as you scroll down, I'll just keep talking since it's taking a while to load. But you can tell there's an amazing Google Doc here. It includes the table of contents as well as the links to all of these different videos. So these videos are meant to share with your students and their families to teach them how to do all things Google. On the slide deck, I've also linked the playlist. So you can see all of the videos here in order. Again, just a very quick way to share these out with your students. So what about teachers? I just shared a link about how to do things for the students, but the teachers can use this amazing Google teacher and student tutorials. So when you open up this spreadsheet, again, this is a collaboration from educators all over the world who have shared their tutorials on how to do all things Google. So I hope that you will take advantage of those, and I hope you will continue to share those out with your fellow teachers as well. And the last thing I have to share is we do have an exciting event coming up that will be led by Sarah Schartzer. So I hope you will add this to your own calendar. The link is here, and it's going to walk you through how to take your Gmail inbox to a 0. So Sarah will be guiding you through some helpful tips and tricks, as well as giving you work time with her. So I encourage you to jump on this slide and sign up here, and Sarah will be emailing you a code.
David, if you could go back to the tutorials real quick on, I think it was slide 13. If you guys click on that, there is down at the bottom, like either one, you can click on either one. I love that down on the bottom, it's not just Google tools like for teachers and students. There's also links to other apps. There's another sheet that says other apps, and it includes Seesaw and Schoology and Flipgrid and Book Creator and Flippity and Canvas and Notability and Vocabulary, and it goes on and on. So if you guys are looking for any kind of tutorials, this thing is pretty amazing. It's pretty comprehensive. The Google Junior series is amazing, like Kelly said, but that sheet has so many resources on it for students, for parents, and for teachers. So that's the teacher one. But there's also, you can see at the top where it says click here for parent, student version, but down at the bottom, you have Google apps, but you also have other apps. This, I mean, these resources, this is why like GEG groups and all of these people, we share all of this stuff. We've all created these, tutorials and everything. And this is a fantastic resource for anybody looking for something. Pop it on your parent site or something if they need any help. This is a pretty cool one, just because it's so comprehensive. We as digital learning coaches can't possibly create absolutely everything for this. So when I found this and I saw all of the different, the other apps that were included as well, not just Google, it's pretty amazing. So check it out. Hopefully share it forward. And if you have any, resources or anything you want to share with us, we would love to see them. So thank you, David. I appreciate you sharing that. So now I think we're going back to the questions and answers. I don't think we have any on our back channel document today, but if you think of anything and you want to put it in, that back channel document, or you can always ask us questions on Twitter, in our Facebook group. And we've got a Google group that you can just join the Google group, and then you can send that email to gegkentucky@googlegroups.com. And we're always really good about getting back and answering any questions that you guys have. We're a group of volunteers, and we do this because we love Google. We love educating students and teachers, and end of the day, we're all here for what's best for students. So. And then at the end, I think our next meeting is it's in 3 weeks. We skipped last week. We didn't have it because of Labor Day. So our next meeting is October 5th at 4:30 also. And we do try to keep our meetings somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. We know teachers have not a lot of free time. So we do try to keep that cut pretty short for you. And if there's anything that you would like to see in our future meetings, if you reach out and let us know, we're happy to include it. I just did, I know we all kind of do professional learning for our teachers. I just did a big thing on Pear Deck. I know that, our teachers are constantly, our whole group is constantly training people. So if you have any resources, reach out, and chances are that we've run some kind of training on that. So if you reach out to us, we're happy to share that out with you. Just ask. Okay. Anything else that anybody wanted to add before we go today? Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you October 5th at 4:30. And like we said, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us.
What do you expect us to do with that?
And we will see you soon. We'll see you next month. Thank you.